Whoops. All right. Looks like we are live. It is December 20th. Holidays are here right around the corner. Only a few days till Christmas. And we are going to do a power hour today. Mitch and myself. Excited to kick off the bowl season here and
yes,
talk about that as well as the week coming up. So got a lot of good stuff to go over today with you guys. Looks like a few people hopping on here, but yeah. Is there anything new that we have added to the Proptimizer that you want to talk about, Mitch? I know they've been talking about adding some more, or just to the Sharp app in general. I know we added a College Bowl spreadsheet that we got going on. So
yeah, I was going to say that's really the only thing in my mind that I would love to touch on, at least right now, would be if you are a pro subscriber, you have access to every single one of our bowl picks for the entire bowl season. Now, I'll make the quick caveat that these are not quote unquote official picks, right? Like I have not made every single bet. Those are just my leans, right? And so I know 2 nights ago, all three of us were on James Madison. They covered pretty easily, and so that's just something, another tool, right, that people can use if they want to hop on a bet. I know, like, for example, Coach Statsational actually put the bet of Tulane plus 10.5 tonight versus Florida. So that's something to kind of like keep out on and see if we are making these plays as well, right? So, but that's kind of the biggest thing right now is if you are betting on bowls, make sure that you head to our Sharp App Discord. In our announcements page is where that post is pinned. If it's not still up, or if you don't know how to get to the pins, I might go in and throw it in there right now to make sure that everyone has it. But that's only for pro subscribers. So make sure that you're a pro subscriber and get all of our leans on bowl season.
Yeah, the handles tool has been money. I mean, I haven't made every single pick. There are a couple of games I missed, but 2-0 to start, so not too bad.
Love that.
There. And yeah,
I
love it.
That.
So, but yeah, while you're doing that, I will go ahead and pull up the Proptimizer. Actually, I'll pull up our Discord real quick. We'll walk through that, and then we'll go ahead over to Underdog probably. So let's go ahead and show you guys. If you're new, we'll show you guys the
yeah, and I will say too that I'm not going to repost it because it's the first thing in our announcements page, and it actually looks like this may be for everyone, whether you're a pro subscriber or not. Go ahead and get on in there. Like, you'll get literally it's that one that you're hovering over right now. Then that, I believe that is accessible by every single person. So even if you're not a pro subscriber, that's an awesome avenue to kind of see where all of us coaches are as far as the bowls go.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we can just pull it up actually real quick for everybody to see while we're talking about it. So, and just keep in mind they may change, as of I know Madness was talking about it. If the lines change, it may be something
for sure.
The day of. I kind of like to make mine the day before. What I like to look at the handles tool and everything.
Yeah.
Make sure.
I just did mine in one fell swoop. I actually changed one way down there for a couple weeks from now, but I did mine just in case anyone is into the early betting, right, and they want to get on the best line possible. Like, for example, in our sheet, I think that it says Tulane plus 14.5 or 12.5 or plus 14. That line is all the way down to plus 10.5 now, right? So just something to keep in mind, right? And so when I grade these, because I'm the one that usually goes through and grades these if I try to every day. I will always use the most updated line, right? So I would not put, like, if Tulane cashes the plus 14 but doesn't cash the actual line, I probably will grade that as a loss, right? Because that's unfair, truthfully.
Yeah,
So just something to keep in mind.
that was a great pick. I think I'm not sure what that one is down to, but or what that one came down to.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah, I know. Like I said, I know Stats took it at 10.5
yeah,
today as one of
or
his.
I did. He took it at 12 and a half. I still took it at 10
Oh
and
yeah,
a
he
half,
did take
and
it
I
at 12.
swore I saw it at like 6.5 or something like that, but I don't know. But it
Wow.
kept going down. So yeah,
Well, listen, Florida are fraudulent, so maybe
right.
that's why.
Anyone in Florida, I think Florida State, Florida, yeah. So
Yeah,
actually, I
that's
kind of wonder what the is that tomorrow
what game?
or the Florida game? Is that no? That's today. That
I
should be
think it's
going
tonight.
on
Yeah,
right
yeah. So tonight we have
3:30.
our college football playoff game, which is going to be sweet.
So it's six
And
nothing at halftime, Florida right now. Sorry.
I think that actually Tulane just started. The game is on as
Yeah,
we
it's at
speak.
halftime. It's Florida 6, Tulane
Yep.
0.
Yep. I did not realize that I had
Yep.
already started. So,
Yep.
oh my
So
God. And Ohio and Jackson State already played?
yep.
What
I
the?
think
What the?
Ohio was killing Jackson State the last that I saw. That one was early. I couldn't even get a pick in. Oh man, Jackson State came back. So
Yeah, they
30
did.
to 27.
And they covered the plus 4.5, but not the plus 2.5. So I think that the line jumped to 4.5 throughout the week. So just something to monitor.
Gotcha.
These
Okay.
bowl
Yeah.
games, especially with, like, they're so volatile. They start at wacko times, right? And then B, they like there could be transfer players that opt out of the bowl game a day or two before the game actually happens, right? So it's just so important to keep in mind, like, just like the NBA, it feels like sometimes, right, where you never know when someone's in and out. Like, definitely monitor who's in and out for the bowl games.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like yeah, covered for stats, and then
Yeah,
unfortunately got it at 2.5, but
tough.
that's a tough one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but like I
So
said, this is just an example. Like, I did not place that bet. That's just my lean, right?
yeah,
Like, that was just my lean when I filled this out 2 or 3 days ago, or whenever, this at the start of bowl season. So
yeah, for
just with that
sure.
caveat.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it looks like, yeah, if we just go through this real quick, it looks like we're kind of split here on Notre Dame. Stats and myself have Indiana covering. I have them at plus 6.5. That's tonight.
Yep.
And then Mitch and Madness have Notre Dame covering.
Yep.
By just over a touchdown there.
Go Irish.
And then we're Penn State. It looks like most of us are on Penn State covering.
Yep.
That one was a little tough for me. I think the handles tool actually had SMU covering, so it looks like Madness is going with that.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. I mean, and when I look at the game tomorrow morning, it might look different, right? Like the something like the handles tool might persuade me the other way, depending on what the line is, right? Like, if SMU gets to, like, or sorry, yeah, if SMU, it depends on what the line is. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what that
yeah.
looks like. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Obviously, if that Penn State line drops down closer to like 8 or 7.5, I bet you that we'll see a flood of public money coming in on Penn State at that point. Just because the public always favors the favorite, and they especially favor the favorite when the bets are within an hour before kickoff. So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. So right now, the odds are +9
Okay.
for SMU, and then -8.5 for Penn State. So it looks like it's kind of stayed for the time being.
Yeah.
And then, but the AI predictions have the line at -7 for Penn State. So that's kind of where,
Mm-hmm.
I went with just a personal kind of
Yep.
lean for
Yep.
Penn State. And then the money is almost 50-50 on the
Yep.
spread. So
Which is super interesting.
yeah. Yeah. So
I mean, a lot of people think that Penn State have the quote unquote easiest route to the college football championship out of anyone. And so obviously, does that mean that they're going to cover? Maybe not, but just something to think about. Like, not that they're skipping this game per se, because if you do, you're going to lose. But like, who knows? I mean, 9 is a big number, especially against a quote unquote playoff team. Like, for sure.
yeah, absolutely. So, and then it looks like we're split again on Texas and Clemson.
Yeah.
So I'm in South Carolina, so gotta go with the home
Look, I
team
mean,
here.
and truthfully, like, this Texas offense has not shown anything to warrant that they are going to beat Clemson by double digits, right? Like, that's just true. But I think that this Texas defense is, I mean, among the best defenses that college football has ever seen, and we're going to see that in the playoff. If I were a betting man, and I am, I think that Texas would be up there for me as far as getting to the national championship. I think that they got to go through Oregon, which is going to be tough, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I got it at, it looks like the line was -12, and I got a little extra half a point there. So I just
Yeah,
took the plus 12.5, because again, that's a lot of points,
absolutely.
for so
Yeah.
for anybody. And then the AI predictions there have the line at +10.
Okay.
So getting a little bit of value there potentially. So that's why I went with Clemson
Well,
there.
and it's going to be so interesting because we've never had playoff games at home, right? It's a very like interesting wrinkle to this
Yeah.
whole process, right? Like, hosting a playoff game could have massive implications, right? And while we're on the topic, like, I know that a lot of people are kind of or have been upset about like the seeding things, right? Like,
Mhm.
how is Texas is better than Boise, and Texas is better than ASU, and like, or like, I would rather be Texas than Oregon. Like, I'm just to throw my hat in the ring here. You still got to play a game, right? Like, Texas still has to play Clemson. I don't care who they
Right.
play next, right? Like, they're going to get, there will be one or two players that are going to get injured in that game, right? Like, just by default, because it's football, right? Like, any team getting a bye is probably, like, if Texas wins, they are going to be favored over, who are they playing? ASU, I think. Yeah. Like, they will be favored, but I think that I would rather still take the bye personally. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, because like you said, you still got to play the game.
for
So
sure.
uh
Yeah.
but yeah, since we're talking about college football then and mentioned Boise State, that was another big, topic over last week, is the Heisman, and
Whew.
talking about Ashton Genty, and the strength of schedule for Boise State, compared to Travis Hunter and the Buffaloes. I mean,
Yeah.
that is a big, kind of topic right now. So, I was personally, going for the two-way player. I
Yeah.
mean, that's like a once in a, I don't know how long kind of athlete,
Yeah.
So, any other year, I think Ashton Genty would have won, but I think that they made the right choice
Well,
personally.
and
What
I
do you
mean,
think?
it to me, the whether it's the quote unquote right choice or not, like, that's where all of the money had pointed pretty much all year, right? Was, okay, like, this is Travis Hunter's award to lose, and he didn't, right? Like, so much of the Heisman is about narrative, right? If we're talking about the best college football player, right? Maybe Ashton Genty's in that conversation. Maybe neither of them are in that conversation, right? But as far as the Heisman is, it's always a storyline, right?
Yeah.
And Ashton Genty's a phenomenal storyline, but this award was Travis Hunter's to lose, and he didn't. He played well, like down the stretch. He played well, and that's all he had to do. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he performed well on both sides of the ball, and it was his award to lose, and he didn't. Like, that's how I see it, at least.
Yeah, and then if you're talking about narratives, then you got Shador and Dion in
Absolutely.
there as well. So,
Yep.
and another son too. So,
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot going on, a lot of reasons to, for Travis Hunter to, like you said, really not lose it. But
Yes.
I still think that I mean, Ashton Genty will be picked before Travis in the draft. So
Probably.
I imagine,
Probably.
so anyway, yeah, so just to finish up on those picks there, it looks like the Tennessee, it looks like Stats is the only one on OSU, and then the rest of us are taking the 7.5 Tennessee there.
That's going to be a great game for sure.
Yes, yeah.
Like, that is definitely the game I think that I'm looking forward to the most. I think maybe besides tonight. I think that tonight's game is going to be good. But Tennessee OSU is going to be a great game. Like, two defenses that are really good. I mean, Tennessee's defense is incredible. Ohio State's offense has looked pedestrian, right? Like, especially when you keep in mind the last game they played on a football field where they got bum rushed by Michigan and got their flag planted. Like, so who knows? We'll see. I think Tennessee covers,
sure.
though, especially if the line, I don't know. I truthfully, hand up, don't know the line for tomorrow, but or the most updated line for tomorrow. But I think that, let's see. Yeah, I mean, if you can, I like the 7.5.
Yeah,
I like the
7.5.
0.5.
Yeah, 7.5 right now.
Yeah,
so
I like the 0.5.
And then the last one we got is Coastal Carolina. So again, I'm taking a home team, especially with that extra half, 10.5. That's kind of a key number there, and
sure,
going up against San Antonio there. So
yeah, I like UTSA. They actually don't have a lot of players that are in the portal. Like, they're retaining a lot of their players, and they've got some studs on wide receiver too. So that's why. That's really why I went. There's really nothing else.
But I mean, it's the Myrtle Beach Bowl, and that's Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina. I mean, I get it, but I mean, the Roadrunners, meet. If you don't know about meet, go look it up. UTSA, that's their saying.
Yeah. So those are just kind of our little rundown here of our first picks for the College Bowl season here. So you guys can check out the rest of them if you're a pro subscriber. If you're not, I guess now it's a good time to mention here before the end of the year here. This is still a great deal right now that we got going on. That our price has not gone up yet. So make sure that you get the link from myself or Mitch so that you guys can become a pro subscriber if you aren't, because we do have a great discount going on right now. So hit us up and we will send you the link, because we have so many tools available that we've been talking about. The handles tool, the AI prediction tool, we have like 9 prop optimizers, over 70 sportsbook, and then we got pro picks, the sharp report, of course, which is like the holy grail, of everything, showing you where the sharp money is going. And you guys just want to get in on that deal. And the best thing about it is that you get that deal for life once you sign up. So, if the price does, double or go up 50%, you don't have to worry about that, because you got in when, we had that discount going on. And it's always going to be like that for you as long as you remember.
Gosh, you sold me on that. I mean, you really did. You did a great job on that. I just need you to know that.
I appreciate that. I mean, I've been in sales my whole life, so I guess it showed there. Good. So,
All right, you want to build something?
yeah, let's go ahead and build a slip. I think I have a Proptimizer or an underdog play for a boost, so we can go ahead and check that out. Looks like we got an NBA and college football 25% boost. So if you got that, make sure that you click on the token there, and we will head over to the Proptimizer to go ahead and build a slip for tonight. So let's roll.
So only 3 NBA games tonight, so it might be a little more slim pickings, but we can find something for sure.
Yeah, and I have put some slips out. I mean, I guess we can double up on players if we have to,
Sure.
but I have put out some free plays. They got a lot of really good promos going on, of course, as always, but this month even more so, just due to the fact that it's the holiday season and we are having some serious, pick 'em wars going on right now. So you got like Sleeper right now, just has a promo going on every day right now. If you aren't a member of Sleeper, they got one where you play basically any NBA slip and then you get a free protected play the next day. So really
nice.
a lot of stuff going on. But we'll roll over to Underdog. It's one of our favorites, and see what the top plays are for us. So
I mean, you can even see like on Underdog right now, 1, 2, 3. I mean, and I'm not saying that we have to take the top 3, but
yeah,
3 plays with over 66% odds to hit. Come on.
Yeah, right. Not too shabby. And this is going to be really tough to, you don't have to, all you have to do is pull up the Proptimizer. You can do it on your phone. Yeah, you can do it on your phone. You can do it on your laptop, PC, whatever. But really easy to do here. And you can pull up the game logs and see we're still in beta so we are taking any feedback, but I mean, it's getting better every day. And we got Alex Caruso here as the top play on the board. So looks like a lot of books have him at 5.5, and he is at 6.5 on Underdog. So only 40%. He's only hit this number under 40% of the time. Kind of hit and miss here. I think with him, he played more, I thought, than I was expecting in the last game in the Emirates Cup. So it's kind of tough to figure out what guards are playing.
And I mean,
what
look,
minutes on OKC.
This Thunder team too has played so much over the past few days. Like,
True.
so that's just something to kind of keep in mind. Like, they might be using everyone, right? Like, everyone might be getting minutes. I mean, so even someone like Caruso that maybe wouldn't eat up as many minutes as you might think, like he might still eat up minutes,
Yeah.
Like they literally played. They've played 3 out of the past 4 nights. The Thunder have. They played Tuesday, off Wednesday. They played Thursday, and now they play Friday.
And I mean, and it was a championship too, so they're probably mentally spent, on that game. But what's up, Dumb XB? I see you in the comments. What's up, man? It's been a minute since we've seen you. But just wanted to. You guys can always throw in anything in the comments as far as any plays you want us to look at as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
So another one I see here, which I'm not a big fan of, and that's taking, I don't care what the number is, but I'm just kind of going over my process because we get these questions. I literally get this question every day, like, how do you make your plays? And I just do not love taking guards over on rebounds just because they're generally not in the best position to get a rebound. And that's just a personal bias I have, even though it shows as a 66% chance. That's just something that I have been successful at kind of fading. So I don't know what your thoughts are on
Yeah, I
that.
mean, and like we actually see a few that look like this right now. I mean, you have like Nick Richards over 1 or over 0.5 assists. Like to me, I stay away from those all the time, right? Like that is
Yeah,
those props are so hard to really find value on. I know that it says that there's value on them, but like
yeah,
that's tough, you know, especially
yeah,
for the game
especially
logs and things like that. Like, yeah, I
yeah,
don't know. Those I
especially with
typically
the
stay away
center.
from as well.
A center with assists too. That
Yeah,
in my opinion is a tough one too. And unless you have like a um, you know somebody that's potentially has a history of it. And
yeah.
Richards right now, you got what's his name, Mark Williams back, so that's a little tough. I already took Isaiah Joe though. I did take his
You did.
assist, so and that was
Well,
over a
look, I
half.
mean, he's a guard, and like we said, I mean,
Right.
everyone's going to be getting playing time for the Thunder tonight. So even a guy who maybe only plays 16 minutes or 12 minutes or whatever his normal minute rate is, like that might go up tonight, right? So I don't mind that play, but only because he's a guard. A play that I actually like underneath it. I don't know if you've used Karis LeVert yet in any slips today.
I have not. I
Um,
have not. But I will. I would. You like this one?
Well, the only reason that I like it is because obviously, like Milwaukee's a tough team,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it's gonna be hard nosed, probably low ish scoring. Um, Most books have it at 3.5, right? We're getting it at 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
The projections at 3.5, right? There's about a point of value there. And when you go to the market log and you click the last 15, which is kind of
Yeah.
my go-to, like that's my barometer, he's hit this 66% of the time, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
those
I
are
mean.
kind of my metrics as far as how I go about it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
I like that play personally.
Yeah. Yeah. I could. It was funny. I was this reminds me in a way of playing Gus Edwards or not on Monday night because I remember I was listening to the DFS Army
Yeah.
show for the showdown and
Yeah.
they were like I'm fading Gus Edwards and watch this will be the time that he scores 2 touchdowns or something and
Uh,
sure and I faded him too,
I mean, and
well
I have
Thursday night
him. So
football.
I've had him stashed on my like fantasy football bench all year, and
Yeah.
um, I'm in the playoffs now, and so I was like, XYZ might be getting hurt. Like, I just threw him in, and
Nice.
I
Nice.
don't know. I really don't even know why. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what persuaded me. Maybe I saw something on like Twitter or something, but and then I threw him into a flat spot, and obviously that worked out pretty well.
Nice, but yeah, my point on the Karis Levert was that he will have those games. Usually, it's when Donovan Mitchell or
Yeah,
Garland are out, though, where he just like has like
he
10
looks like a
assists or
top 10
something.
player in the league. Like there are times where he looks like, why doesn't this dude
Yeah,
post a triple double every night?
right.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, so that'll probably be tonight, just because we're playing. But that's all I'm saying. Just keep
You're right.
that in
We,
mind. He
we just
can
put it in the world. We
have
did. We just
those.
put it in the world.
Yeah. So
So
hopefully that's the reverse jinx I'm trying to do here. So
yeah,
yeah. But yeah, well, I'll take the under there, for
yeah,
sure. And then again, like I said, it's just not something that I like to play, and I'm gonna stick to it with the guards on the
yeah,
rebound, on the over on the rebounds. It's
yeah. I'm
just
gonna I'm
not.
gonna turn on a light really quick. It's getting dark in here.
Yeah, it did get dark quick. So Caruso under assists, I'm not in love with either. I mean, but I want to
Did I hit
see.
anything? Oh yeah.
I want to see. There we go. It looks good. I want to see what Mitch's thoughts are on Caruso under assists.
Let's see.
It's I'm not
Mm,
really sure on it because again, he can have those games. I mean, he should have been assist. He should assist the ball instead of shoot it. But
yeah. Well, the
um,
problem is that the Thunder play three ball and ISO, right? So they very rare like Shea takes a million shots a game. Jay Will takes a million shots a game. Like, so I mean,
right.
it is very likely that someone like Alec Caruso could literally luck himself into 3 assists,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
for sure. I feel the same way as you on that one.
So to me, I see that there's heavy juice on the under, and that maybe that's just due to his minutes and their,
Yeah.
being Joe and Wallace. So I may play that if we have,
Yeah.
if we can't find something else. But
Okay.
this one just hopped above him here, Josh Green. So we got a couple of people out. That's a little worrisome for me with the Hornets. But Josh Green just sucks though too. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
where he went here, but yeah. So you got LaMelo out, and then you got Brandon Miller out now. That was the latest
Yep.
addition. So I don't know. It looks like his points just got changed to 10.5. So I think that people already jumped on that. So um, with Josh Green, I can
Yeah.
pull it up on Underdog, and we could still. Here's what we could do. I'm okay. So what's cool about Underdog is compared to some of these other pick'ems is that we can still play this at 12.5, which I feel more comfortable with anyway. But
Yeah.
the multiplyer's lower, so I'm good with that if you are.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's go for it. I
'Cause they
mean,
just pulled it from us. So
you're talking
yeah,
about player points,
under
right?
they pulled the 10.5
Okay.
from us, but they're letting us do a lower multiplier at under 12.5 for Josh Green.
I love it. I mean, look, his average over the last 15 is 9. Like, um, I think that under 12.5 is a good play. I do.
Yeah, awesome. So, all right. So we got 2 on the board here. Take a look.
Let's see. Let's keep hunting here.
Yeah. So Caruso is a maybe. So we got Joel Embiid. I did play him over 3.5 assists.
You
So,
did?
and we don't know if he's playing for sure. So I don't
Yeah.
want to play him again. But
I was gonna say, let's see if anything's come out yet. I know that.
I think with the fractured sinus, I think it's probably a good idea to pass the ball a little bit more than normal. That's kind of my thoughts on that. Right?
Yeah, just 6 minutes ago, Joel Embiid is a game time decision. So
Okay. Yeah. So they
officially,
said that he's ready, like everybody on the team, and they like he's ready. So I think he's going to play tonight. I don't know if he's going to be limited or not, but sounds like in my opinion, I think he's going to play. But it's not. He was upgraded to questionable today from yesterday's doubtful or whatever. So that's
yeah.
usually
Let's see. So Dom said Torian Prince PRA.
Torian Prince PRA. I don't see him on here. I see his rebounds,
Yeah, I
but
see his rebounds too. So his rebounds at over.
yeah.
Looks all right. His PRA, we're looking at about a 51% odds to hit.
Yeah, so not quite the edge we want there. We want it at 54.
And it's something that I'll say too is there are things that are conflicted, right? So if we're seeing his PRA at value at the under 11.5, but if we're seeing 62% odds to hit on his over rebounds, those two things kind of go against each other, right? So
The other,
I
yeah,
personally would stay away from this, even with Damian Lillard out, right? Like,
yeah. The other thing that drives me nuts about the Bucks is that it's very similar to the OKC is that their guards, you just don't know. It's almost like they give. I don't know why my camera got blurry here, but it's almost like they give like the hot hand the ball or something like that.
yes, yes, yes.
So it's just I'll try to restart it or something, but
Yeah, I know you're good.
You never know who's gonna get the minutes that night. If it's gonna be Trent, if it's gonna be Torian Prince, if it's gonna be
Andre
Jackson.
yeah, like he's
And I
come out
swear
of
there's someone
nowhere
else
too.
there.
Like,
Oops.
yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of my thoughts on that there. But we'll go down here. So again, if you're not familiar with the Proptimizer, some of the things that I we're kind of going in a little bit more in depth, I guess, than normal, but that's okay
Yeah,
because
for
I know a
sure.
lot of people have questions. So when the lines are crossed, like when I say they're crossed, like Isaiah Hartenstein, you have under 3.5 assists here, but then the Sharp app is projecting him at over. That for me is just a fade. So it's not something that I would play just because we have the Sharp app model, as
Yeah.
showing conflicting info. So Paul George assists under 5.5 there.
Let me look.
They just played Philly, and so one that I like. I mean, you can let me know your thoughts, but
Yeah.
I potentially Nick Richards under here.
Yeah.
And
I was looking at that as well.
he had a good game against them, but then again, did Joel Embiid play? That's my only
I
concern
think
there.
that he
I don't think
what
he
game was
played
that?
that game. So this is because he's coming back today. That was on the 16th, right?
Yeah.
So Joel, let me see if he played. Stats. So he didn't play. So it's going to be a little bit of a tougher matchup, right?
Yeah.
For him. So I think we fade that one as well. So, and I know. So one of the other questions I got the other day, Mitch, was that, well, why don't I just go off of the Proptimizer? Why do I pay for a subscription? So I'm just bringing this up because I
Yeah.
think it's a good point. And I one of my things was like, well, it's getting better. It's the best in the industry, right? But you still have to know how to use it. So like any tool that you have, you're gonna still have to know how to use it, and that's what we're teaching you here, and that's why we have coaches in the Sharp app. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way, right? Like if you are looking for, I pay for this, I play this, win loss. That's not what the Sharp app is all about, right? The Sharp app is all about utilizing the tools that we have and learning how to properly use the tools and how to engage in top down betting or bottom up betting, right? Like it's designed for you to find your own systems that work, right? You can find a million sites that are going to tell you, hey, go bet on Paul George points over tonight, but there's nothing behind that, right? So the purpose of the Proptimizer is to show you the meat and potatoes of behind what are these plays that some of our coaches like Statsational, like Schwami are making specifically on props, right? So that's my 2 cents on that, at least. Like you can find, I mean, you can go on Twitter, go on X, find, literally search a player's name, you'll find a projection or you'll find like a prop bet for them, right?
Right.
If that's what you're looking for. But if you are looking to create your own plays, your own slips, and do your own research, that's where the Sharp app thrives, right?
Yep. And that's why we have coaches to help you use these tools. We have videos on the Proptimizer as well. But no, it's not just a plug and play, like Mitch said. If you want to do that, like I have free plays that I put out. Mitch has free plays that he puts
Yep.
out. So if you literally just want to plug and play, then just take somebody's free plays. But if you want to know how to use the tool, then we'll show you how to do that, and you can figure out what works best for you. So I like Haywood Highsmith, sorry, over rebounds here. He's been playing pretty
He's been
well
great.
of
Yeah,
late.
he's been great.
So yeah,
Send it. I like it.
cool.
I like it. Yep, we got the projection at over 3. Looks like most of the or all the books are at 2.5, but he's hitting this at a 54% clip. We're good. Send it.
Yeah, cool. So we got 3. Let's do one more, and so we get our multiplier up here a little bit,
Okay.
and then we'll send it. So So we got that. The other one I was looking at was Jimmy Butler. It's a pretty significant, and that's one of the things that I look at. So I usually like the odds for the most part. It doesn't have to be, but it just, over 120 is good. And then, I'm looking for a discrepancy. So like right here, you got a consensus of 18 and a half, and then you have a sharp app projection of over 19.
So that was before you brought up Highsmith. That's who I was gonna bring up was J Butt points over, projected near 20, line at 17 and a half. Most books are at over 18 and a half with the juice juiced up, right? So that's a great play. That's a great play.
Yeah, I mean, my only concern is just he can have those kind of dud games. But I think with like what you said with OKC being playing, 3 out of 4 nights, I think that there's no Chet Holmgren there. I think that they're going to be tired, and it's going to be a Jimmy night. So
I agree. And over his last 15, he's averaging almost 19. This has hit 54% of the time.
yeah.
I think that's a send for sure.
Cool. So we got, so pretty, I don't know why it's 10% instead of 25. Maybe they're trying to push us towards college football. It said one or the other, but we'll take the 10% from underdog. Can't complain with that.
No.
And we got, 5.8 times play here for us. So I will send that and tell you guys, there's the error message. But I'll just go ahead and tell you guys what it is.
Run through it.
So Karis LeVert, under 4.5 assists. We got Josh Green under 12.5 points. So you just click on the little arrows here and you can pull up a different that lets you change the projections. And then Haywood Highsmith over 2.5 rebounds. And then Jimmy Butler over 17.5 points. So
love it.
That is the play. I'm going to see if I can send it. Otherwise, I'll do it on my phone one more time here. And then we'll go into the Sharp report.
Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
Got it, baby. All right, cool. So let's roll over to the Sharp report. We'll show you guys. We like to give you some free insight. You get to see the Sharp report for free at this time. So make sure that you join us each and every week, 5:00 Eastern, because we like to show you guys what our number one tool is to use, and that is the Sharp report here. So
yeah, and we have a ton of mega Sharp plays today, or this weekend, I guess. Or I mean, some of them are just bowl games in general, but specifically we have let me find.
It's in 2 spots, by the way. I'm going to pull it up over here. So we have it as the menu on, over here on the Sharp app, the Sharp beta, and then we also have it on our Discord here. So if we're looking at mega Sharp plays, Mitch
so the way that this works, right, for those of you that are fairly new to this, is the left column are the Sharps, the middle are the sportsbook liabilities, and the right is the squares, right? So we want to tail or follow the Sharps, right, who have been scorching in December. Yes. You want to stay away or play the opposite of the middle column, right? And then I personally just monitor the square positions, right? To me, that's not an auto play the opposite or an auto fade. Those are just things that I monitor to make sure, right? So when we looked at the NBA tonight, right, there's only one game on the report, and that's Cleveland versus Milwaukee, where Cleveland is obviously favored by 9. You might look at that and be like, okay, well, Milwaukee just won the NBA Cup. Like, they're hot. They're without Dame. So that's why that line is where it is now. I mean, is Giannis going to be able to keep pace with the arguably one of the best teams in the league, right, in Cleveland? Who knows? So Cleveland right now is a play that Milwaukee right now is a play that I'm thinking about, especially if I'm going to use a teaser, right? So, especially if I'm going to add a 5.5 point teaser, if we're looking at Milwaukee +9, all of a sudden we're looking at Milwaukee +14.5, which seems a little more manageable. And then I'll find one of the other 2 games to add on to that. Obviously, today that won't come from the Sharp report. That it will probably most likely come from Sharp AI, the second half to that of that teaser. So the NBA is looking a little dry today, but on the left, what do those colors mean? Red means that there's 2 sharps on the play. Okay, so for example, all those NHL plays, our college basketball plays, all have 2 sharps on them, right? If it's in blue, that means that there are 3 or more sharps on a play, right? So for example, in the NHL, you have 3 putting insane juice on the Florida Panthers tonight. Which I know that will not be a play that I look at. A play that I will look at, though, is Utah, right? +120, all the way down to about 110 right now. Why am I looking at it? Because it's a mega sharp play. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, in that orange highlight, all the way at the bottom down there, orange highlight, we get this question all the time. Orange highlight means the game is today, right? So all the rest of those games are college football games. Those are bowl games that we'll get to in a few days or next week. Today, Utah is a mega sharp play. That means that we have 4 or more sharps on that side. So even if you're not a hockey head, I mean, mega sharp plays are very profitable. They have shown consistent profit over the past few years, over the past few months. They are, for me, as quote unquote sure of a play as you'll get as far as the Sharp report goes. They are unparalleled, right? So we want to follow the Sharps. They are much smarter than me. I mean, I can't guarantee this, but they're much smarter than you, right? Like they
Or
are.
they have
There are
much
people
more
that
inside info than you.
yes,
Right.
they have way more inside info than you, right? So just something to kind of keep in mind, right? So like I said, it's a light slate for the NBA tonight. We only have 3 games. The Sharps really aren't interested. They don't have a single play tonight on the NBA. But then obviously we're looking at following the money, right? And not a whole lot of money on Cleveland tonight. So typically you would play the opposite of it, which would be Milwaukee, which is a square position. Kind of with the last 12 minutes, do we want to look at a little college football, a little NFL action to prep people for this incredible weekend? I said this in our Discord, but I'll say it again before tomorrow starts. Go touch some grass, go touch some snow wherever you are, because tomorrow you're not leaving the couch. I mean, we got an insane day of football tomorrow. We got 2 NFL games. We have 3 college football playoff games. It is going to be literally all day. I think it goes like college football game, NFL, college football, NFL, college football. Like it's going to be a great day to be a sports fan and to be a sports bettor. So soak up tomorrow, because days like tomorrow don't happen too often. There's going to be a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So I got a question for you. So when you see Utah then as a mega sharp play, but then you see, you take a look here and you see
Yeah.
them as a fade play, do you
Yeah.
just, you just take it as, I mean, I
I just
imagine
take it as the mega sharp,
as the mega
right?
sharp play, right?
And I don't really ask questions, right? So,
Yeah.
but it's a very unique circumstance, right? Because
Yeah, you don't see that.
maybe even like that might even be more reason to play it, because you're seeing these very, very smart people on this play and very little public money coming in on them, right? So is that a scenario where they are just smarter than the public, right? Like, and that's just kind of what it comes down to. Like, so maybe that's even more reason to play it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
What do you think,
playing
though?
Minnesota, so and they're square position, so
Yeah,
right.
super interesting.
Yeah,
Super interesting.
for
I
sure.
will be
So
taking Utah. That will not be.
right.
I'm not gonna post that, but that is. I will be taking Utah tonight. I will be placing my hard-earned currency on Utah tonight.
Nice. Yeah, so I say since we kind of touched on some of the college,
Yeah,
bowl picks,
let's
and
go
we
NFL.
talked about, yeah, the NBA. So let's go NFL then. And we can start off, I guess, with Arizona -3. Looks like a few sharps are on Arizona,
Yeah,
and
they're playing the Panthers this week, so
Panthers.
they're in Carolina, I believe. And so it's actually interesting that Arizona is on this, because we had a ton of sharps on Carolina last week, and we all know how that turned
Right.
out, right? Um, so are they predicting people just remembering the Carolina of old, right? And how they were hyped up and then obviously lost, right? Or are we actually seeing, Arizona being a good play? I mean, Arizona isn't anywhere else, or Carolina is not anywhere else on this report, right? So just an interesting note. And so we have three sharps on there. We also have three sharps on Green Bay -12.5. I like that play too. I think that number probably scares a lot of people, but I like Green Bay a lot in that scenario. I think that I do like a covers league with a couple of my buddies, where you place on one side of a line or the other, right? So for example, you lose 12 points if Green Bay were to lose, but I took Green Bay in that league. Because I think that they are going to absolutely stomp the crap out of New Orleans, because Spencer Rattler will be starting.
And no Kamara too.
No Kamara. Oh
Yeah.
boy,
That's a big number though. That is a big number.
that is a big number. You're
Yeah.
right. We'll see kind of where it evens out. I mean, I know that where did it start? The Sharps hit it at -12.5. I mean, what's the best line you can get right now? Let's see. And this is the Monday night game too. Or is it the Sunday night game? Monday night game? I think it's the Monday
12.
night game.
I think it's Monday. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this is the Monday night game. I mean, yeah, right now it's at -14. Uh-oh. It might even continue to go up too. Like, I mean, there's some books that have +14.5 already. Which is, I mean,
That's
that's not a
crazy.
bad deal, right?
Yeah, I see plus 14.5 on FanDuel here.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's wild.
that's definitely something to think about for sure.
Yeah, and
For
then
sure.
and then Arizona, they're on the bubble, right? So just to
Yeah.
finish on them. So I mean, they definitely got something to play for here, So
They absolutely do. They're trying to salvage their season, right? I mean, and
yeah,
that line is all the way up to -4.5. So like, this is why, especially in the NFL, if you're one of those people that likes to play games early, the Sharp Report is for you, right? Like, if you like to get lines right when they open, you
hmm
check the Sharp Report, you see where the sharps are right away. And then if you want to hammer those lines, then you can do so. Because as we're seeing, I mean, most of these lines are way off now, right? Like, the difference between -12.5 and -14.5 is astronomical. Like,
right, right.
that's serious stuff, right? So
Yeah, and if you get that positive, closing line value, that positive CLV, right? That's going, if you do that over time, you're going to be a profitable better. So,
absolutely.
one of the ways to do that is by using the Sharp Report for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, even a game like Buffalo, right? Like, Buffalo, you can actually still get at -14. Obviously, they opened at -12.5. Like, That's a massive number difference. 14 is tough. Now, Buffalo probably covers that number because they're freaking engaged juggernauts. Like they're so good right now. But I don't know. Who knows? Even the Cincy line, like Cincinnati has moved a ton. Just one of the benefits of hopping on the Sharp Report early. Like, I mean, there's a book that has Cincinnati -9. Sharp's got it at -5.5.
Yeah, and you may not have got it at -5.5, because a lot of times once
Yeah.
we get this info, the line is at -6 or -7, but that's a different, big difference from -9, right?
Even getting the line at -7 is a massive difference than -9, like for sure.
Yeah. So playing
So,
the Browns this
yep.
week, -9. I mean, yeah.
And what's interesting too is that Cleveland game is on the other side, right? So you got Cleveland on the liabilities, but then you have Cincy on the squares, right? So if we kind of looked at that side, right, you've got let's see, you got Washington on the middle column, but then you have Philly in the squares, right? You've got Chicago in the liability, and then you have
Mm.
Detroit, right? Like it's all of those games that look like, are all of them evened out? Yeah, looks like it.
Interesting.
So, I mean, right now, are there any plays? Who knows? You know, um, I'm not sure. At
Yeah,
least
and
at
just
this point, right? Like last week, we were able to identify Denver pretty early on, right? Because Denver, the Broncos were favored by -4. We got
mhm.
the line at -3.5 on Friday, and Indy was on the middle column, right? So live and in person, I took the Broncos. I put it in our Discord. And obviously that bet won, right? And so
Nice.
monitoring the NFL all throughout the week is so important. There's really not even, I mean, college football is the only other sport that's truly like this, but monitoring the lines in any football game is really important throughout the week. Like if you're looking an hour before kickoff, you're kind of behind, right? Like and not to say that, I mean, we all have things that come up and we all, don't have the time to put XYZ bets in all week, but it's just something to keep in mind that you're probably losing value, right? Throughout the week. So let's see, we have 2 minutes left. So if you guys have any last minute questions, go ahead and throw them in there. And what I'll do really quick before we head out here is Schwami, can you go to the main screen? Our one of
Oh, yeah.
our or sorry, the home screen of the Sharp app website. Yep, perfect. So, one of our coaches, Coach Statsational, has come up with a podcast called the Better Thinking Podcast. So far, he's interviewed two incredible guests. I listened to the first one. I haven't gotten to listen to the second one yet. The Aaron Brown one, I'm very, very excited for. His first episode was with Joseph Bookdahl, who is he gave a ton of insight into betting dynamics, right? And how the psychology of sports betting and how it deters people, how it gets people addicted. It was so interesting. And then this week, he has talked to poker wizard turned Wall Street, like massive, massive figure on Wall Street, who is Aaron Brown. And so you can find that in the Sharp app. You can find it on YouTube, on our Sharp app YouTube page. And then you can also find it on anywhere that you listen to podcasts, right? So if you're a Spotify person, if you're an Apple Music person, it's on everything. They're about an hour long. We put the clips up on YouTube. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, we kind of slice it up for you and pick, the absolute best parts that we think that you should be listening to. But go ahead and listen to the Better Thinking podcast. I'm so pumped that we finally launched a podcast, and Statsational absolutely has killed it. So my final plug, go listen to that podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And lastly, we still do have the 2-month free deal. So if you don't have Underdog or Prize Picks, you can, or Sleeper, use my code, and then we'll get you the
Send
2
it.
free months. So
Send it.
We'll get you 2 free months, guys. So no other better deal in the industry. So hit us up in our DMs if you have any questions. But thank you guys for joining us. I hope everyone has a happy holiday season here.
Enjoy.
And wins all of the monies. So
you're gonna win. I feel it for you. You're gonna win every bet you place from now until Christmas. It's a Christmas miracle. It really is.
Absolutely. Good luck, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Bye, y'all.
Right. See ya. Nice. Yeah, I think that was a good one. A lot to go over there.
We didn't get as many people. I don't